Behind me is my $30,000 room. It's where I create all my content, game and stream, and of course sleep. So in today's video, I'll be giving you all an in-depth look into each space, breaking down the purpose, gear I use, as well as practical tips and tricks I've learned after years of building functional spaces. I'd like to make note that everything you see that I mention will be in the YouTube description, so if you're curious about anything, you can check down below. And of course, if you have any general or specific questions, never hesitate to comment. I try to respond to all of them as best as I can. Starting with my functional workspace, this is actually the most recent addition to my room. Now, the desk itself is very simple and it's actually built into the wall. Because this corner is so small, I could never fit a standing desk or any other sort of desk into this corner, so this really was the only option. About 6 months ago, I decided to fully transform this corner because I really started to use it more than my actual gaming stuff. Which leads me to talk about my favorite aesthetic piece in my room, which are my wooden panels. They're from a company called Wood Up, and by no means are they cheap. I'm pretty sure this entire wall was nearly $500. My original plan was to cover both, but when I looked at the price, I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm paying for that. What I like most is they come in a ton of different colors, so they can fit any wall color or aesthetic that you're trying to go for. Now, what's mounted to the wooden panels are a few different things. First are my posters. So I spent a good chunk of time designing my own personal card posters that I printed myself and actually sell if you're interested, and just have them all over my room. As of now, I have 4 different designs, and as somebody who's always pushed adding a bit of personality to your setup, this has got to be one of my favorite aesthetic additions. Above that is a floating shelf I just bought off Amazon, and attached to that are 2 puck lights. What I like most is they're wireless. You can see them right here, and while the battery doesn't last super long, it gets the job done and it fills up this space, because if they were off, it would look super dark. To the right of that is my Govee neon rope light, and what I like most about this is it fits perfectly in between the grooves of my wooden panel. So I didn't even have to really mount this. It kind of just snugly fit in between and ended up working out perfectly. On the wall, I have an IKEA pegboard. This is filled with certain accessories and hooks for things such as my Sony XM5s, my Lego keyboard, my keys. It makes for a nice key holder, as well as some practical drawers and holders for things such as camera lenses, microphones, and things that I'm gonna be regularly accessing. Now, talking about the powerhouse of this setup, this is my M3 Max MacBook Pro. Now, yes, the Max is overkill, especially for the majority of people, but considering I do heavy video editing, multiple videos a day at high 4K, S-Log, 10-bit, 422 color, I need a powerful system that isn't gonna slow me down, especially with my workflow. What's great about it is I can take it with me for travel and really anywhere I go, and it does everything. It's sitting inside of a $20 simple stand I bought off Amazon, and hooked up to it, which allows it to actually display, is my Anchor docking station. It's my one-stop shop for plugging in storage, charging things, and actually displaying from my MacBook to my monitor. The actual display for this setup is a wall-mounted 34-inch MSI 240Hz QD OLED monitor. Yes, it is nearly $1,000, but in my opinion, it's worth every penny. Sitting on top of that is my monitor light bar. I've made a lot of short form content covering this, but essentially what it does is just eliminate the glare. So for late night editing sessions for me, I really enjoy this. To the left of that, I have a Rode mic stand, as well as the USB Rode Pod mic version. Paired with that, I actually use Rode's headphones or my AirPods, depending on the situation. I've just found these to be super nice, comfortable, and perfect for long editing sessions. Rapid firing through the rest of the peripherals, I have an Amazon Basics notebook. I'm big on handwriting my to-do list. For me, it just works. I understand everyone else is different. The mousepad that I'm using is from the mousepad company. The keyboard I'm using is High Ground's Opal 65 Crystal Clear collection in the orange colorway. For the mouse, I'm using the infamous legendary MX Master 3S. I have a white coiled cable, a floating light bulb, and a Grove-made wireless charger, as well as a Sony mug to store pens, remotes, and dead rats for my microphone. Lastly, my Govee glide lights are intended to be like Amaran tube lights. I've just never got around to purchasing them. For cable management, I use 2 trays and zip ties, and the chair of choice is Autonomous's Ergo Chair 2. This is the chair I'm currently sitting in. My only small complaint is that the handles tend to come unloose very quickly, but other than that, it's an amazing chair. Now, before I dive into the gaming setup, in between that are my Blackout Blinds. They're from a company called Blackout, and they really are the best in the game. I actually hopped on a Zoom call where I met with somebody somebody who took my measurements and gave me my own personal custom design. These are the full motorized version, and by no means are they cheap. Currently 2 o'clock in the afternoon, extremely sunny, and you would never expect that because these literally block all the sunlight coming from my windows. They do a great job of trapping heat, and they've really helped me sleep at night because I can turn my room pitch black. The downside is my customized version was nearly $800, so keep that in mind. For the gaming setup, the foundation remains the consistent custom-made desk that I've used for years. My dad and I built this when we moved into this house, and one of my favorite parts about it is it has a secret cable drawer. It's held in by a magnet, which if you press in will drop a door, so if you need to access things with ease, you can. Moving on to the PC, I've actually gone away from my custom build, and while yes, it was way more aesthetically pleasing, I could not turn down an NZXT Player 3 Prime. Some of the basic specs are it has an RTX 4090, an Intel i9-14900KF, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage. It's an absolute monster for gaming and streaming, and it completely eliminates the need for a dual PC setup as it can handle both the game and stream flawlessly. For now, I am still rocking a 3-monitor layout. The current main monitor is 1440p at 165 Hertz. Above that is a 1080p 280 Hertz monitor, and to the left of that is a 1080p 60 Hertz monitor. The chair I'm currently using is my Mavix M5, and truthfully, I'm not a fan of this chair anymore. I'm looking to actually upgrade it. I've had it for years, and over time, it's just felt more unstable every single time I sit in it. To manage all my audio, I'm using the Rodecaster Duo. It's perfect. Connected to that is my Shure SM7B sitting on top of an Elgato low-profile mic arm. For my headphones, I'm using the infamous DT990 Pros. They are studio headphones, but by now you probably know these are the best. As for peripherals, I'm also using a car-themed mousepad company mousepad paired with a high ground Basecamp 65 Snowstone white keyboard paired with the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 decks, as well as a white coiled cable, a Stream Deck to the right, and 2 Elgato key lights lighting this entire space. To the left of my PC is a wireless charger, which I recommend everyone have. If you want to eliminate cables, a wireless charger is the best thing in the world. I have them at every setup. I can't live without them. For my streaming camera, I'm currently using the Canon M50 Mark II with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. I've had this camera set up for nearly 5 years now, and it's currently sitting on the Rode PSA 1 Plus mic arm. This gives me plenty of flexibility when I want to move my camera around, and I'm not limited to just a tripod, which tends to take up a lot of precious desk space. On the floor, I am using Elgato's foot pedal. I have it binded to deafen in Discord, push to talk, and mute. This is perfect for playing video games with friends and streaming at the same time, so I don't have to hit my push to talk key to talk to stream or to my friends in Discord. I can do it all with my feet. Super intuitive, very convenient. And to the right of my desk, I have an air purifier. As somebody with dust allergies and sensitivities, especially with pollen being around, this has come really, really clutch. I tend to clean the filter out about every 6 months, and I've noticed they do actually make a difference. Moving on to the shelves, I've recently reorganized a lot of things for more practical purposes. The bottom shelf is filled completely with keyboards. As of now, I have a little over 16 keyboards in total. Not all of them are sitting on the shelf. I think we've all fallen into that trap of hoarding tech, whether it's boxes, gear, or things we just don't use. And it wasn't until I started realizing I was running out of closet space or shelf space that I started giving them away or just selling things. Above that, because this is the most accessible shelf, this has all my practical items. Starting on the far left, this is my Ugreen NAS DXP 4800 Plus. A NAS, in simple terms, is a private server that stores all my footage, both on the cloud and physically. To the right of that, I have my Lenovo Legion Go S. This is such a fun handheld gaming PC. For travel and flights, the fact that I can pretty much pick up my PC and move it and have it in the palm of my hands is super fun. And in front of that is my Nintendo Switch OLED edition. Now this right portion is where I store my JBL Flip 6, perfect for playing music when I'm recording. I also have additional lenses, camera accessories, batteries, mics, filters, you name it. All of this is my most frequently used camera gear, so I'm always pulling from it, rearranging things, and nothing is ever sitting on this shelf. Truthfully, it's almost always being used. I know I just mentioned I was a previous hoarder of tech, and if there's one thing I will admit that is hard for me to let go, It's throwing away my Apple boxes. Above that is nothing, and above that is also nothing. I'm just too short to reach any of that. Okay, moving on to the right corner. On the trim, I have a Govee neon rope light as well. This is stuck to the trim. It was actually the perfect dimensions. It's one of my favorite additions. It lights up the wall. It looks really, really cool. In the right corner is my custom floating bed. This is actually the cheapest part to my entire room. My dad and I built this for less than 125 bucks. And if you are interested in my custom build plan, I'll leave that linked in the description as well. On the walls, I have another personal car poster as well as nano leaf lines. And to the right of that, I have a sit stand autonomous white desk. I use this strictly for product B-roll, top-down shots, and anything revolving around that. For my lighting and heavy-duty gear, I'm currently using the Amaran 150C with the Light Dome SE and the Amaran light stand. I also have a C-stand, a fluid head tripod, and Ulanzi's travel-friendly carbon tripod. Besides my closet, which really just holds personal belongings, that's pretty much it. With that said, if you went on to enjoy this video, chances are you'd enjoy some of my others. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and I will catch y'all in the next one.